this is spiritual healing for weight loss class. This class is intended to help you understand the spiritual sides of weight loss that you can heal on the emotional, spiritual, basically mind, body, spiritual sides, so that you can better understand yourself, why your body gains weight, and things that you can do on the spiritual side that will help you heal. And so, I always start with my little disclaimers, just remembering that I am not a doctor. This class is not meant to diagnose, treat, or prescribe any illness. And please, when you are seeking any sort of weight loss program, consult with your doctor about that. But just keep in mind that this is on the spiritual side. So we're just going to jump right into this. Those of you that follow me will probably have some things that you've heard me talk about before, but I hope that I put these things into a picture that we can understand. And towards the end of the class, we are going to do some meditation too. So, drink your tea, drink your water, and get well hydrated and ready for that. So why do we gain weight on the spiritual? I want to first start by saying that when we gain weight, it does not show that something is wrong with your body. It actually shows that something is functioning properly in your body. It is showing that your body says, uh-oh, something's not right. We need to be stronger. We need to be bigger. We need to put some protection on our body to protect us from something that feels dangerous or scary or traumatic. So your body is functioning exactly the way that it is meant to function by gaining weight. It is saying, we need to do something. And in order to, protect ourselves from a real or perceived danger, we're going to gain weight. So, historically, weight gain, when we look at where did weight gain come from, you can read actually quite a few studies, especially during World War I and World War II, where people went through starvation. They went through periods of time without food. And this created a genetic trauma and a genetic memory within their bodies. And they've actually scientifically proven that this gene was switched on, and then this gene gets passed on through family. So you could have this, experience where your great-great-grandma went through, World War I, where she barely had any food, or maybe she was a Holocaust survivor. And it created something within her to where she's like, I got to pass on to my ancestors. You need to gain weight. You need to hold on to weight, because having extra weight means you have a less likelihood of starving if something happens. So typically when we look at weight gain, you're probably not going to be the first person generationally that has struggled with weight. Most of us can look back and say, okay, there's, great aunt so-and-so who was really heavy, or things like this, or my mom gained weight in the same areas as me. Now, this isn't always true, because, I can actually look at my family, and most of, my mom was skinny mini. If you guys have watched my TikTok videos, she was supermodel skinny, and she's gained some weight, but it's not typical for people in our family to get as heavy as I am. So, we have some generational stuff that's passed through, but some of it is new trauma. Some of the things that I've experienced as well. And so sometimes it is layers of experiences. Sometimes it is generational. Typically those are the two most often things that we see. And so as we're gaining weight, we look at like, okay, what are the emotions why we are gaining weight on the spiritual side? So spiritually, we are gaining weight typically as a protection, a barrier, a shield, or a strength. So I need to be protected. I need to push someone or something away. Or I need extra weight because we're going to starve in winter, right? All of those reasons, right? I need to be stronger. So for instance, and we'll talk about the areas more, I gain weight in my arms and my shoulders. If you look at me from the back, I kind of am shaped almost like a guy in the back where I've gained weight for that. Why? Because I've had a lot of things in my life where I've had to protect myself. So my body's like, I'm going to give you upper body strength, upper body weight. So, you know, why we gain weight, protection, right? Past hurts, past abuses. Sometimes it can be connected with guilt. So I feel guilty for something that happened in my life. And we eat our emotions, I feel shame. So guilt and shame are big emotions that are connected with weight gain. So I am feeling these emotions. I'm going to eat my emotions. I am an emotional eater. So you guys will probably notice I was stressed out about class. What did I do? I bought a big thing of blueberries and I've been munching on these in the house shower. To my husband, I'm like, I need something to chew on. And he's like, you just ate dinner. And I'm like, I know, but I'm stressed out. And so, right? So what emotions am I feeling? We're going to go into this deeper, but I want to recognize this as we go. I am feeling inadequacies as your teacher. I am feeling guilty because I'm like, I'm the wrong person for this class. I'm a fatty teaching weight loss class, right? I am feeling shame because I feel shame around my weight. To me, someone who teaches a weight loss class should be skinny. They should have already achieved what they are teaching. However, you guys have trusted me to teach you this class, and I do honestly have experience that I have lost weight using these techniques, but I also gained it back because Corona was stressful. I'm sorry, that lockdown just killed everybody. It was awful. And so I let my emotions get away with me with that. So, you know, are we eating our emotions? Past hurts or abuses or traumas. So, and we'll talk about this more in areas as well of like the areas we gain weight in just a minute, but typically, if we have a trauma or someone is abusing us, we gain weight for strength. So when I started gaining a lot of my weight was when I started dealing with a son who had reactive attachment disorder, bipolar disorder. My oldest son has a lot of mental health challenges. And now looking back at it with my adult autism diagnosis, I actually think he was autistic and they missed that diagnosis because he was high functioning. This was back in the 80s, or not the 80s, I'm sorry, the 90s. And, you know, there's misdiagnoses, but he was very difficult to handle. And so I was under a lot of stress. I was eating very quickly, and felt like I needed to be stronger because, you know, he would full on throw temper tantrums. I'd have to pick him up and carry him. Even at like 10 years old, I'd have to carry this child to a safe space instead of leaving him throw a temper tantrum in the middle of the street, you know? So my body's like, you need strength, gain strength. Another really interesting one, and kind of the last one that I'm going to touch on, is procrastination. Procrastination, when we put things off, we're like, I'll do this tomorrow. I'll eat healthy tomorrow. I will clean my house tomorrow. I will do whatever tomorrow. And that was what will put us into those guilt and shame cycles where we're like, oh, I should have done this instead of sitting around, or, you know, I'll do this later. And we kind of just get in this procrastination mode, where we're putting things off and we're saying, oh, maybe tomorrow, maybe tomorrow, maybe tomorrow. So one of the things that helps me, and this is when we talk about nervous eating, I'm going to nervous eat in front of you guys, and I'm sorry for that. But hey, it's a weight loss class, so we'll talk about it. I'll use myself as an example. Nicole says that hits the nail on the head for me. My son was very much the same. Yeah, I'm a huge procrastinator. I'm a Pisces. My Virgo daughter, I drive her crazy constantly. She's like, Mom, stop procrastinating. Procrastination is one of the things that I have been healing within myself. And funny enough, this class, I was like, I mean, look at me. I was like, oh, I got the class coming up. I'm going to procrastinate by wasting time on TikTok because I was emotionally feeling all wonky. So procrastination is a really big one that can affect you on the spiritual side for weight. So when we go in to spiritual weight gain, where we gain our weight, and if you guys have seen my TikTok videos, you're going to know some of this already. Where we gain our weight is also reflective of why on the spiritual side we are gaining weight. So earlier I talked about weight, how I weight gain in my arms and my shoulders. So arms and shoulders are about strength. Shoulders are more about support, how we are supported, how we support others, the burdens that we're carrying. So if you are feeling weak, if you are feeling unprotected, if you are feeling like no one supports you, or if you are carrying all the burdens of supporting everybody else with no relief and no help, you're going to probably gain weight up in these shoulders. If there are instances where you have had to fight to protect yourself, like I got to protect myself or others, you are going to gain weight up here. Kristen says, I gain weight all over. Blah. I kind of do too. Jennifer says, I do feel like I'm built like a linebacker. So yeah, like I said earlier, it's my weight gain is really interesting. If you look at me from the back, you will see it in my shoulders and my back. And for the most part, from the back, I actually look fairly normal size. And then the rest of my weight gain is over my stomach. And so I'll talk about stomach next because I'm using myself as an example. And so my weight, I almost look like a potato is how I describe myself to my husband. I'm like, I look like a potato, because like a little leg sticking out of the middle. But so when we look at the stomach will actually encompass your solar plexus and your sacral chakras. Honestly, like I've talked to you guys many times, there's hundreds of chakras and energetic centers, but we're going to just talk about the main ones. So if you are gaining weight over your stomach, typically this is going to be worry. This is going to be resentment, holding on to any anger type emotions. So it's going to be an imbalance in that solar plexus energy. If you're gaining weight kind of over your sacral, yes, sorry, brain farting here, chakras. So anything over like your ovaries, the fupa, the kind of flub that hangs at the bottom, those typically indicate a trauma. So typically it'll show like this person has had a sexual trauma is usually the most likely cause of that. Not always, but quite often. This is someone who is disconnected from their feminine energy. Now, keep in mind that feminine energy is not always talking about females genetically, because we all have a masculine and feminine energy within us. So this is showing that we have a belief system that our feminine energy is a weakness. So what is a feminine energy weakness? So like if you were a genetic male, a lot of times males are like, you know, emotions are for sissies. That's a feminine energy weakness. Sorry, I forgot to turn off my cell phone. It is, you know, people who hold on to their emotions, don't process their emotions, tend to ignore the gentle, nurturing, intuitive sides of themselves. And again, typically it shows a sexual trauma in that area, or some sort of like if you had like a birth trauma, that could show up in that area as well. Um, Fear, emotions in that area also. But typically that lower thing in general is saying, I am disconnected from my emotions and intuition. Or I am feeling unsafe because someone has traumatized that area. Nancy says, I gained a lot of weight after my son's autism diagnosis. I can relate with everything you're saying. I used to eat a dozen donuts in one afternoon. I was eating my feelings. Yep. I hear you. I can't tell you, like, after my son would have one of his, like, I call them meltdowns, because I had no support. We were in and out from psychiatrists and all sorts of things, and just never found the right person to help us. And I remember feeling so exhausted, and I'm like, I need energy. I have so much else to do. And sugar was the way that I would boost my energy so that I could function, And so sugar and food create an emotional response within us. My husband was telling me, he's in medical school right now, and he says he tells me about all these studies, and I love medical studies, and I swear I need to like write these studies down, but that they found that if someone who is eating did not get the emotional, like, oh, this food is so good, this tastes so nice, this makes me feel good from the food, they would stop overeating. And that typically people who overate, they did it because of the emotional response, or like the taste, like, oh my gosh, this tastes so good, I can't stop eating it. Because that taste receptor is doing what? It's going to our body, it's creating endorphins. We're like, oh, this is amazing, I can't get enough of this food. And it creates a positive emotional response. And so we want these positive emotional responses to continue. So this is how we end up eating entire boxes of cookies or donuts or entire pizzas, or, half a box of blueberries in my case. Luckily, I've tried to put my emotional eating towards healthier foods. Not always. We're creating a positive emotional response within that. So let's look at some of the other areas of the body. So you can see here, double chin kind of sometimes comes over the throat chakra. So this is the throat chakra imbalance if you have a double chin or you're gaining weight in your neck. So this is saying, one, oh, I just have to grit my teeth and get something done. Nobody supports me. Nobody helps me. Or I have been betrayed or embarrassed. So anything kind of up here in the cheeks, I've been betrayed or embarrassed, is typical emotions for those areas. Throat chakra here is saying, I need to be protected. So let's talk about, I'll use myself as the example. Me going to someone saying, hey, I was raped. No, you weren't. That person would never do that. You're lying. Oh, okay. I came to you because I trusted you and I needed help. My words weren't heard. Hey, somebody hurt me. I need to talk to you about it. Just suck it up. Suck your emotions up. It's fine. I don't know why you're so dramatic. Oh, cover my throat. I feel really tired and exhausted. This child of mine, I need some support. He's not that bad. You're being over dramatic. Oh, okay, maybe you're right. So this is the throat going close, close, close. It is also, for me, I used to be a yeller. I'd be like, go put your shoes on, like the 52nd time, or take out the trash. Because I was like, can you please take out the trash? Can you please take out the trash? Can you please take the trash? Can you please put your shoes on? And then after like 9-10 times of somebody not doing it, just put your shoes on. Or, my son would do something really crazy, like running out into the street. And actually once he ran out, snuck out of the house on his bike, ran out into the street, got hit by a car. Luckily he was totally fine. But that was a screaming moment for me. Oh my God, why did you do this? Are you okay? Like, a lot of screaming, because screaming and yelling is saying, I don't feel heard. If I amplify my voice, you're going to hear me. So any violent communications that we're using will typically show here too. So if we are screaming, yelling, sometimes cursing, I don't know, I curse a lot anyways now, so I try not to get on people who curse because I do it. Or if we are trying to hurt people with our words, you will notice a lot of Karens. If they're heavier, will gain weight in their throat area too. So, so typically that's kind of throat and the face type area, kind of the neck, why we gain weight there. Why do we gain weight in our butt and our hips? Let's go to butts and hips. I'm going to go in general here because we have a lot to cover. And we have our meditations to do and a lot of healing. So butt and hips are about trust, about old family arguments, about lack. I lack what I need. I lack trust. I'm holding on to old family arguments. I'm not having fun and joy in my life. I am suffering. So typically people who feel like they're suffering, typically people who are feeling like, oh, I'm poor, I lack what I need, I lack my attention, I lack money, are going to gain weight in the butt and the hips area. Typically, in general, not always. Jennifer, I missed your comment earlier. It says, yes, the taste receptors, everything tasted so good when I felt sad and low, and I just wanted more and more. Yep, because we're making ourselves happy, right? We want to feel better, and food makes us feel better. Food is a drug, guys. Sugar is actually scientifically proven to be more addictive than cocaine. It is harder to come off sugar than it is to cocaine. Every time I have detoxed from sugar, I have shaking and sweating and like, oh my God, I got sugar, I got to eat sugar. And I will look for sugar substitutes, or I'll start eating a ton of fruit. So one of the things you may have noticed, what am I eating right now? Blueberries. Guess who's sugar detoxing right now? Me. And it takes me about 2 weeks to get through a full sugar detox. 2 weeks. So yeah, very addictive stuff. Food is an addiction. My mother-in-law has full-blown diabetes, heart failure. Her doctor literally tells her she is the worst diabetic patient he's ever come across. And she goes and still drinks Coke, eats cupcakes, cookies, pastries, everything she's not supposed to eat all day, every day. I never see that woman eat a salad. And because she's so addicted to the way that the food makes her feel. And so, I know that this is a hard pill to swallow, that I've basically called us all addicts here. I'm sorry, guys. It's kind of true. So I don't want to shame you, because I'm on the same boat as you. As of today, I was 233 pounds. So I'm not trying to judge you. I'm just trying to bring awareness. Nicole says, I tend to not eat a lot of sugar, but I will eat extra of other items, like a whole sub instead of a half. Yeah, I do that too. Like, I'll be like, entire bag of potato chips, yum. Or, double servings. Even if I'm not hungry, I'll a double serving of stuff. Really interesting. And one thing I will point out really interesting, my son said that he lost a ton of weight when he got corona because he couldn't taste the food and he wasn't getting the same satisfaction out of eating, and so he was only eating until he was satisfied because there was no taste to it. So I guess we could all go make our food taste yucky and we'd eat less, but that doesn't sound like a fun way to lose weight. Let's go into the legs really quick, and then we'll go into emotional belief systems and things like that. So when we're looking at the legs, obviously legs are how we are stepping forward and moving forward in life. They are our conveyance. So when we are looking at the legs are saying, I am indecisive. I feel stuck. I feel like I can't move forward. Something or someone from the past is holding me back. I am giving my power away to others. And so because of this, my legs are weighted down. It's hard to move my legs, hard to step forward in that process. Typically legs will also kind of do the same as hips and hips and butt, where it's a lot of family stuff as well are carried in there. If you're gaining weight in your feet, this is typically intuition, and keeping in mind that your feet are connected, every toe is connected to a chakra as well. So, when we look at healing this, we're going to do some family healing work, forgiveness work. We are going to take our power and our strength back, and we are going to make decisions, even if they might be the wrong decisions. We're going to just start making choices and decisions, stepping forward in our life and stepping over the perceived roadblocks that we have. Okay. Because every roadblock in our life is really only a roadblock because we see it as a roadblock. We see it as something that is holding us back because we allow it to. Katrina asked, Carrie asked, how about weight gain all over the stomach, just not the fupa? So again, that's the solar plexus. So it tends to be worry, guilt, shame, not listening to your gut instincts are typically going to be in that area. Typically, that is one of the areas that we're going to gain weight if we've experienced trauma in our life as well. It's kind of like a trauma repository. So, pardon me, I'm going to drink some water to clear out my throat. So yeah, we have a general idea of why we gain weight. Oh, back. Spirit was like, you didn't talk about the back. Gaining weight similar to the shoulders, lack of support. Typically, if we're gaining weight, it shows that we're stressed out about money or survival in our backs. Like, I don't have what I need to survive, or I lack the money that I need, or money is hard to receive. So yeah, typically that's going to be why, is that, people who work really, really hard and don't see the results of their hard work, or if someone is taking advantage of someone else's hard work as well. So all in general. So, what can we do to heal the spiritual side? Obviously we've kind of touched on some of these things already, where we're going to say, okay, forgiveness work is going to be huge, disconnecting from anyone who has caused you emotional pain, emotional trauma, and starting that healing process. Somatic healing, parasympathetic healing, breath work to reset your parasympathetic nervous system. So if you are still reprocessing traumas, if you are still living in fight or flight, dealing with anxiety, emotional eating, you're really going to want to work with breath work, tapping, EDMR therapy with a good therapist who's trauma informed, to start pulling yourself out of fight or flight. I actually learned a really cool trick. I haven't tried it yet, to help if you're in a panic or anxiety attack that resets your parasympathetic nervous system very quickly, is putting an ice pack on your chest for a few minutes. Somebody was telling me about it, and I was like, you know what? That sounds pretty awesome. And I didn't do that specifically the other day, but I did take a cold water bottle and do that, and it calms me down a little bit. Swimming in cold ice water has a similar effect. Yoga, Qigong, Tai Chi. A lot of people, when they jump into wanting to lose weight, they're going to start doing a ton of cardio. They're going to do a ton of like really restrictive, constrictive exercise, a lot of restrictive dieting. Now, my father, who's a naturopath, I consulted him before this class a little bit, and I asked him, some things. And there's something that he's always told me, and then I'll expand on this. He says, you lose weight at the table, you get in shape at the gym. So every time I have lost weight, it has been when I have done emotional work and I have shifted the way I was eating along with it. Now, I do have a friend who has done some of these processes that I'm going to teach you tonight. And girlfriend still eats fast food and weighs 100 pounds now. She lost 100 pounds just by eating on the, shifting the emotions. So it's going to depend on you. It's going to depend on your body types and how good you are at shifting emotions and things like this. So from my non-medical psychic weirdo position, from my own experience, my top 2 suggestions are going to be shifting our diets and shifting our emotions together. But, if shifting your food does not feel like something that you're emotionally capable of right now, we're just going to focus on emotions. That's it. That's where I want you to start. If exercising feels impossible to you, if shifting your food feels impossible to you, we're just going to work on the emotions. Okay. And that's the only place I really want you to focus right now, because I am obviously not an expert. I'm not a dietitian. I'm not a doctor. I am not even a physical therapist or, one of those weight trainer people. So clearly I don't work out very much. So, as we heal the spiritual, I absolutely know and believe that you can heal your physical. And so every time we have imbalances and things that are connected with, weight and things like this, when we go on and we heal our belief systems around food, it opens up new doors and possibilities. Now, one thing I want to kind of backtrack and talk about very quickly was we were talking about the stomach and the intestines. Now, remember all these studies that I quote and I can never remember them. So here's another one of them. There's a study done where skinny people, they took their bacteria or fecal matter, I'm not sure which one, I can't remember, so don't quote me on this, from their body, and put it in pills or capsules and gave it to overweight people. As they changed and healed the gut bacteria, those people just naturally started losing weight, right? So they transferred those things over and the people started losing weight. But if you look at it physically, there's a lot of emotions that are processed through our solar plexus. Our solar plexus holds your liver and your stomach, your intestines, which are your emotional processing systems, So if you look at your large intestines, I can't do anything right. I want to run away from the world. I'm so frustrated. I'm so irritated. Nobody understands me, are kind of emotions there. So, if we look at almost what they did is transplanting a piece of one person to another, they're also bringing that energy over. And so if that person is healthy in their stomach, they're going to feel like they have freedom and that their life is encouraging and they're happy. Whereas someone who does not have those right gut emotions is going to be stressed and frustrated and holding on to anger and judgments and sometimes jealousy. So as we heal this, it moves space to heal. As we heal our belief systems around food, it's going to give us space to heal. Remember, I was talking about a friend who still eats fast food and is totally healthy and it lost 100 pounds. So again, one of my husband's studies, I actually was listening to class because of COVID. He has a lot of his medical school classes that are online. And so I sit in on them as much as I can because I'm always game for learning. And they were talking about the study that they've done, and I've talked about it before. And I really need to find these studies, I swear, so I can give you guys lists of studies to read because they're so interesting to me. This is probably my autistic side that's coming through because I love correlations and studies. But what they did, and I don't remember the exact numbers, so we'll just kind of make up numbers for our purposes right now, is they say they got like 100 people. They broke them up into 50 groups. They gave everybody the same food. It was all fast food, cheeseburgers, French fries, Coca-Cola, whatever. But one group, they're like, this is a new revolutionary health food. It tastes like junk, but it's so healthy for you. It's restorative. It's balancing to your body. It's so good for you. The other group, they said this food is junk. It's crap. It's going to make you die early. We've done studies on this food that people have literally like eaten it and had heart attacks after eating it, whatever. They told them that this food was just toxic to touch. They tested these people's blood before they ate the food and after they ate the food. And they found that the groups that believed the food was healthy had lower cholesterol, lower blood sugars, a positive result of changes in their blood work. The people who believed it was unhealthy, their cholesterol went up, their blood sugars went up, their blood work changed for the worst. So in part, how we believe our food affects us is very, very, very much going to affect how it is when we eat it. You know, if we go, you're bad for me, you're toxic, you know, our body's going to go, yeah, it is. My husband's grandmother, this woman lived, I think she was about 96 when she passed away. I loved her. She was happy, go lucky, nothing ever bothered her. Girlfriend lived on Coca-Cola, chocolate bars, white bread, ham and cheese sandwiches, and not just any cheese, like American cheese. The only other thing I saw this woman eat was crackers, and she made this dip, which was cream cheese, chopped up green onions, and dried chopped beef. And she would eat that for like Thanksgiving, and sometimes she'd have pie and things on Thanksgiving. Literally all this woman ate, and she lived to be 96, right? Carrie says, excuse me while I drive straight to Taco Bell thinking very positive thoughts. Ha ha ha. Ouch, you love American cheese. You know what? I will tell you, one of my guilty pleasures is white bread, bologna, and ham and cheese sandwiches. I'm vegan now, so I don't really eat those anymore. But there is something that hits just so nice about one of those sandwiches. I don't know what it is. Sometimes those stuffed potato chips in the middle. I haven't had one in years, but my husband always knows when I'm pregnant because I start making those because I'm like, yeah. And so, you know, I'm not going to tell you that eating junk food is going to restore your body. I don't want you to just sit there and like, I'm giving you a carte blanche to go eat all the shit food, right? But what I am telling you is that your belief system around the food you put in your mouth is absolutely going to affect you. So just keep that in mind, you know, that how you believe your food affects you will be very, very, very important as you go through your healing journey. I will tell you, for me, when I was first on my diet, the reason why I went into losing weight was because my brother at 38 went into heart failure and full-blown diabetes. And I was like, I'm not ending up like him. No siree. And I went on a very restrictive keto diet. I started having so much stomach problems. And now I know in part that was because I was so worried about eating the right food, of never touching anything bad. So just keep that in mind as you guys go through, that your belief systems around food is going to very much affect you. When we talk about emotions and food, you know, we talked about at the beginning how I was feeling inadequate and stressed about this class. So I started eating a lot of blueberries. I was eating my emotions. You probably noticed as we've gone and I've gotten more comfortable, I stopped noshing on blueberries. My energy has calmed down to the point where my body is like, you're really not hungry. You're not really stressed anymore. It's okay. You don't need to eat. I also lit some incense that was calming to me. So when you look at putting something in your mouth, I would like you to ask yourself the question in a very gentle way, a very kind way. Don't be judgmental to yourself of, are you eating because you are physically hungry, or are you eating because you are emotionally hungry? And if it is an emotional hunger, I would like you to either journal to your body and write your body a letter and say, what do you need emotionally? What do you need right now that your emotional needs are not being met? What can you do to shift your emotions? So, we're looking at, like me, I was feeling stressed out and inadequate. And now we've gone through the class. I've seen a few of you laugh, comment back and forth. And I'm like, you know what? I got this. So my emotions shifted. So when you were feeling like you were going to be emotionally eating, ask yourself, what do I need? And if food is not the answer of what you need, then try something else. Take a walk, go swimming, read a book, jump in a bubble bath, call a friend. Whatever that is that can shift your emotions, go do it. Go find something to shift that. Jennifer asks, is emotional eating the same as boredom eating? Yeah. When you are bored, what are you? You are listless, you are unemotional, you are stuck, right? So if I'm bored and I'm just sitting there noshing on potato chips and watching TV, what am I doing? Most likely, I am emotionally disconnecting from something or someone in my life. I am saying, it was a really hard day at work and I can't do anything else. My brain can't handle anything else. I'm just going to sit here and just eat, right? It's an emotional disconnection, right? So boredom eating is still an emotion, right? Nicole has a great comment. I will try to ask myself, will this food fuel me, or is it bad for my system, like fuel in my car? Yeah. And it's true. If you put the wrong fuel in your car is not going to run. When I was 20, I had a beautiful 1991. Was it 91? No, sorry. No, 91. I was 12. Hold on. Let me math this. I don't know. I can't remember the year. 97? 1987. We'll just say it was a 97 Trans Am. It was sleek and black, and it had red leather interior, and it went so fast. When we bought it, the dealer says, never put anything but premium in this car. And I was like broke in 20, so I would put the cheapest ass gas in there. I cannot tell you how many times I blew through fuel filters on that car because of using the wrong gas. Some of our cars are designed as high performance machines, depending on your genetics, and you can go get into genetic diets, and you can get into, blood type diets and things like that. Different bodies run better on different fuels. So like for me, I do best on a vegan diet. Whole foods, plant-based has helped me reverse diabetes, neuropathy, fatty liver. My husband tried to go vegan with me. It was a disaster. He's a type O blood type. He needs meat. He was faint. He was weak. He felt sick. He couldn't function physically without the meat. Me, I don't really need it. So everybody needs a different thing. And I will tell you, my husband can eat all the junk food in the world and have perfect blood work numbers. Now, he also, he's heavier. He's like 290 or something like that. So it makes him gain weight, but the negative side effects of it don't really get on him like they do for me. If I ate a cheeseburger a day like he did, I'd probably be dead. because my body functions different. So some of this we have to look into genetics too, like what were your ancestors eating? What things are good for your ancestors? And, typically the diets that I usually test the highest for my clients are going to be a whole food plant-based diet. So a vegan diet, a paleo diet, or a Mediterranean diet are typically like the three that resonate highest with most people's bodies. Junk food typically never does, but que sera. So keeping in mind everybody's car is different. Some people are sports cars, some people are, Chevy pickups that, can take whatever. And so going back to the emotions of asking ourselves, am I emotionally eating or am I physically hungry? If you are physically hungry, you can ask your body, what do you need most to nourish you and strengthen you? And then again, if it is an emotional hunger, then we are going to really say, what do we need to feed our bodies emotionally rather than the physical food? When we look into pranic healing, which is one of the methods I'm certified in, there's a root cause of disease and obesity that's not merely restricted to eating habits that accumulate weight. It is emotional, it is energetic. And when we get to the root of the emotional and energetic reasons that we gain weight, it helps us lose weight and keep it off. It helps us regulate our appetite, so that longing urge for food where we're like, oh, I have a sweet tooth, I have to eat this, I'm craving a cheeseburger, emotionally and spiritual energetic healing balances that within us. It helps us, as we look at where we're gaining weight, we're going to look at what chakras can we heal. Is it our throat chakra? Is it our heart chakra? Honestly, anybody who's gaining weight probably needs some heart chakra work. I'll just say that there, because the heart chakra is the home of our subconscious. It's where our soul resides. So it's where we're going to put up blocks, the first blocks of protection. Ooh, let me put a wall around my heart because I got to protect my heart, right? So we're going to do a meditation in a little bit where we're going to go through and we're going to sweep our chakras. And I'm going to probably sweep through, we're probably going to do like the crown chakra, the throat chakra, the heart, solar plexus, and sacral chakras. But typically, if you're going to work on healing any chakras yourself, I'm going to look at, let's heal the heart chakra and let's heal the solar plexus chakra are the two that we're really going to work on. As we spiritually heal, we're going to physically heal. And so that is the goal of this class, is to reduce the body weight, reduce the spiritual weight and emotional weight that is going to release the physical weight. So, if we look at, what we are carrying spiritually. And so this is one of the things I would journal about as well, is asking your body, what is weighing me down spiritually? What is weighing me down emotionally? Where is that heaviness coming from? And as you journal about those things, as you meditate on those things, really going into your body and saying, hey, I am safe, I am protected, I am healing, and really helping your body to understand those emotional sides. As we align our chakras and repair those things and stabilize it, our body is naturally going to start pulling the energy in that we need to rebalance our body. When you look at chakras, they're going to typically run in a clockwise manner. It's almost like breathing. They breathe in the clean energy, they breathe out the old energy. And when they are damaged or blocked, due to the emotions and things that we've talked about in this class, they start, I've seen people's chakras look like jelly beans. I've seen them completely closed. I've seen them damaged and broken. And when a chakra is not functioning properly, you're not getting that energetic exchange that you need. And when you don't get the energetic exchange, the body goes, oh, warning, danger, something's broken. Let's try to plug it up and fix it. And we gain weight. So as we create a symmetry between our, mind, body, soul, mind, body, spirit, eventually that's going to create a spiritual healing for us. So before we start into our meditation, which is coming next, I'd like to just open for a few comments and questions before we kind of jump into that. So is there anything that you guys have, like a burning question or clarification that you need based on what we've been talking about so far? You can post it in the chat or raise your hand. And I'm happy to kind of get into that a little bit deeper. I want to make sure that everybody's kind of on the same page and that we kind of have the same understanding, I guess, before we kind of go any further. So yeah, we'll just kind of let's see. Okay, so Jennifer says my whole face gains weight first. What does this relate to? So when you look at your face is your public persona, is what people see first about you, right? It is kind of like our face to the world. When you meet someone, you're going to look them in the face first, right? You're going to say, oh, what is this person? Who are they? What do they look like? Things like this. And so when we are gaining weight in the face, it shows one that you have a very radiant heart and soul, that you're really a peaceful, gentle, kind person. So it is showing that you're holding on to emotions of rejection, or like I've tried to show someone love, I've not received it, and that I am less than perfect. I am fearing judgment, kind of this keeping up with the Joneses thing. So I'm imperfect, or things like this. It'll typically show that we're disconnected from ourselves, or that we are questioning who we are, even questioning your soul's purpose. It also reflects a struggle with allowing your heart center to take the lead in your life decisions, or completely disconnecting and using logic over love and intuition. So, and this disconnection is typically like a coping mechanism of, I need to run away from reality or the everyday stress of life. So it's kind of like this fear of rejection, but then you're also pushing life away. It can also signify we're holding on to destructive emotions or patterns from our ancestors. So it could reflect that this is also an ancestral thing for that. So, don't worry about being perfectionist in your life, letting go of stress and worry, and not worrying about failure. It's going to be some stuff you can work on. So Jennifer says, blown away. Yes. Okay. Lori says, so I know I have thyroids and hypothyroidism. How do I get a work on this when my thyroid doesn't work and my hormones are wacky? So that's kind of like almost another class. Unfortunately, there are layers to healing, but I'll touch on it a little bit. So, there's a lot of things like hormones and thyroid, adrenals, cortisol. So there's a lot of layers to healing things. And I am going to recognize that we're going to go in, there's a lot of different classes that we might need to layer on to create healing. But in general, we're going to look at throat chakra healing for your thyroid. We are going to look at balancing the stress in your life and the emotions connected with the thyroid. So we're going to do nonviolent communication. We're going to be bringing, singing and joy. We're going to communicate. We're going to work on self-esteem. So hopefully that kind of helps there. I love that Katrina says, I'm healing childhood trauma and certainly not reliving it. So Tabitha says, scared to unpack some things in the past. Facing it and forgiving seems impossible. So Ho'oponopono is my go-to for forgiveness work. There's Katrina is an expert. She's used this like crazy. I have a free class on my website. You can go through that and you don't have to talk to people to forgive them. You don't have to allow them back into your life to forgive them. You don't have to relive your experiences or traumas to forgive people, right? Forgiveness is really just saying, hey, thanks for being a part of my journey. I recognize your part in helping me learn things about myself and helping me grow as a spiritual human. I recognize that you're part of my journey. I am sorry for anything that I did wrong, and I'm ready to release you. There's a little hour class on my website. It's a free one. I would just go take it. There's a meditation and a little PDF you can print out, and that's really going to help you with that. So Carrie asked a really good question. How would you handle a food pusher, a bad influence enabler in your life? I love it. So my husband is not a food pusher, but he's kind of like an enabler. I'm like, oh, I crave chocolate. He's like, okay, I'll go buy you chocolate. Or I really like some French fries. Okay, I'll get you French fries. And I've actually gone to him and had a conversation with him, and he's been very kind about it. And he tries, but then I get emotional and, then I go get the French fries at Chick-fil-A. But I said, hey, I really need your support right now. And what is healthy and supportive for me is for you to not support me in unhealthy eating behaviors. So one, I would ask, and I've actually told them this, I say, please don't bring unhealthy food into the house. If you want to eat a cheeseburger, go eat it outside of the house. Totally fine. You want to drink Coke or have ice cream? Great. Don't bring it into the house. I ask that whatever you bring into the house is healthy and nourishing for our bodies. Because for me, I am too weak to not eat that food. So one is a communication thing of, hey, I need your love and support with what's going on here. So I need you to not bring these foods around me or near me. If I am eating these things, can you support me and not, ask me if I'm emotionally eating or whatever. So it really looks like going to this person saying, hey, I'm on this healing journey and I need you to support me in these ways. Some people are not going to be supportive of you. When I went vegan, everybody freaked out. They're like, oh my God, how are you going to get enough protein? And like, you're going to die on that diet. And that's way too much carbohydrates when you have type 2. Like one doctor said I had type 2, one said I was borderline, who knows? But there was two opinions going on there. So I will just say I was borderline. And I will tell you that it healed that stuff with me. And so there are going to be people who are not going to understand the way you're eating, and they're going to freak out. And it's so funny that like when you start eating healthy, everybody freaks out. They're like, oh, you're going to die. And I can't believe you're eating that rabbit food. Nobody questions when you go eat a cheeseburger and a milkshake and French fries. They're like, have fun. Good for you. Right? So it's going to take some emotional strength within you to ask the people around you that are to support you. And just know, and I talk about this often, as you heal, one of three things is going to happen with the people around you. There's going to be people that are going to, yeah, good for you. Let me support you on your journey. I'm so happy. And they're going to follow you on your journey. Second thing's going to happen. They're going to go, I don't like what you're doing. I don't like this journey. Peace out. I'm done. And they're going to fade out of your life. And so there are people in your life as you heal that are going to be like, I don't know this new skinny version of you. I don't know this healthy eater. I don't want to be part of that. And they're going to fade out of your life, and it's going to hurt. I just did a video on my TikTok of a guy who quit drinking. He was sober and he lost everyone in his life. how freaking painful to lose everyone in your life when you do something so amazing. But we have to remember that they recognize the unhealed versions of us and that those versions are unhealthy. And so as you become healthy, the unhealthy people are going to fade out of your life. Now, the third type of person is the one that's going to take a lot of strength to work with. These are the narcissistic, needy, abusive, enabler people. These are the people who are like, what do you mean? Don't you want a cupcake? Don't you want to eat like crap again? Here, why are you doing that? No, no, no. And they're going to railroad every boundary you put down. They're going to just wreak havoc on your journey. These are the people that we have to kind of almost cut out of our lives, that we have to say, hey, every time I put up a boundary, you don't listen. This is not a healthy relationship. I need to separate from this relationship. And as we separate from those relationships, it's almost like we have to burn a bridge. And it sucks. It hurts. I personally set the intention that if they heal and they show me that healing, they're allowed to come in my life. But until then, peace out, you're done. And there are some people you're going to have to burn bridges with. Gabe is asking, how do you heal fatty liver? That's kind of a whole class, because liver is anger, resentment. So we have to do liver emotional healing. Nutshell, what I'm going to tell you: forgiveness work, doing a whole food plant-based diet. There's a link on my website to Forks Over Knives, which is instrumental in my healing. It's a free movie you can watch. It's under my favorite things. The supplements that I took were milk thistle, N-acetylcysteine, and phosphatidylcholine are the three supplements I personally took under the care of my dad, who is a naturopathic physician. I also got glutathione injections from my naturopath as well. So they literally gave me a shot in my ass every month. Those things helped me tremendously, so much. And my dad was even very skeptical of the vegan diet. He's like, this is too much carbs. You can't eat this kind of stuff to heal it. It worked for me. What works for me may or may not work for you, but that is what I did personally. So hopefully that can kind of start you on that journey, Gabe. You're welcome. So Nicole says, people around me are always like, eating that looks gross. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be like, ew, what's that? Like, when I would go work with my ex-business partner, often she would make, almost daily, she would make fun of the food I ate. Oh, what are you eating? I can't believe you're eating that. That doesn't look healthy. She thought that she was this great expert because she was a nurse practitioner. She's like, I'm a nurse practitioner. You should eat what I want. Girlfriend ate tuna sandwiches from Subway every day. And we all know what happened with Subway's tuna. So I am like, yeah, you have great advice. She said that Taco Bell beans were healthy, which actually I do like Taco Bell beans. I don't know why, they're really good. So just keep in mind that people will say that. And the best response is, that's okay. You don't have to eat it. You can say well, I really enjoy eating this, and I would prefer that you're not negative about the food that I'm putting in my mouth. But typically I just tell people, that's okay. You don't have to eat it. I like it, and I'll offer them some. I'll say, you want to try it? And most are like, no. Sometimes they'll try it and they're like, ew, that's gross. I'm like, yeah, that's okay. At least you tried it. We are going to go into our spiritual healing portion and do our meditation. I do quite a bit of work with this. So if you're not well hydrated, please make sure that you are afterwards. Please also understand that there may be emotional things that come up that feel raw for you. So if at any time you are feeling emotionally overwhelmed or dizzy or things like this, you can stop the meditation and just kind of sit and watch the class or turn off the sound. Just be mindful of your body and gentle with yourself. In the days after healing, continue to stay very well hydrated. Try to limit your exposure to emotionally disruptive things. So we're not going to watch scary movies. We're not going to watch the news. We're not going to listen to heavy metal music, things like that. So trying to keep that emotional balance going as we continue. We're going to take 3 deep breaths in. And this is something that you can utilize anytime you feel anxious. If you're like feeling like you need to emotionally eat, do these 3 deep breaths. And one of my clients actually told me, she goes, I use the deep breaths and I tell myself I can get from one breath to the next. So if you are feeling like you're emotionally eating and you want to shift the anxiety or the emotions, deep breaths in is what we're going to do. And so you're going to breathe in through your nose, inhale, filling your lungs as far as they're going to go. We're going to kind of pause and hold that for a second. And then we're going to exhale out, pushing all of that air out through our mouth. I typically like to envision that I am breathing in pure white light, and then I envision whatever that junky old energy is that looks like it's coming out of my lungs. I'm just going to envision sometimes it looks gray, green, brown, stuck, yucky stuff. Whatever it looks like, it's no right or wrong. It's just whatever it looks like to you. And I will apologize in advance because I had a cold. I'll probably cough sometime through there. So I apologize in advance for coughing in your ears. So let's start with our deep breaths in. I'm actually going to take off my glasses because for whatever reason, it feels better to meditate without my glasses lately. So we're going to deep breathe in through our nose. First breath in. We're going to pause and then exhale. Deep breath in 2, breathing in the light. Pause. Exhale out all that old, dark, stagnant energy. Third deep breath in. Pause. And exhale. As you continue on this meditation, continue with your deep breathing, however is comfortable with you. If you are able, you can put your tongue on the roof of your mouth to more completely connect all of your chakras and your energy together. So we're going to first focus in on our body. And we are going to first invoke your higher power, your angels, God, creator, the universe, whatever that looks like to you, asking for protection, for balance, and support as we are healing in this journey. And we are going to first recognize any emotions that we are currently feeling, any emotions that this class has brought up for us, any anxiety, stress, pressure, feelings of worthlessness or inadequacies. We're just going to recognize those emotions. I'd like you to take a deep breath in and feel gratitude for those emotions. I want you to send gratitude to the weight on your body. Gratitude for the protection that your weight gives you. Gratitude for any emotions that feel negative. Because without these emotions and without this weight, we would not be human. We would not be spiritual beings in a human experience. And so we are grateful for all emotions that we experience because they create knowledge within us. We are grateful for our weight and the protection that it gives us. And so we send gratitude to these emotions and to our weight. Take a deep breath in. And we're going to recognize, though, that it is time to no longer allow these emotions to live with us, to control us, to be a part of our day. That it is time to restore our body to a perfect balance, perfect balanced emotions, and energetic state. And so first, I'd like you to envision that there is a pitcher of pure white light over your head. And this white light pours over your head, over your face, your neck, your shoulders, arms, chest, back, stomach, torso. As that light just pours over your body. And as it pours over your body, it sweeps away stagnant energy and emotions and imbalances. Just gently cleansing, gently rebalancing our body, just sweeping down our legs to our feet, dripping off our fingers into a puddle of light. And that puddle starts to flow away from our body and moves towards an ocean, beautiful healing ocean that gladly receives any negative energy and imbalances to it as it restores and heals and rebalances. We're now going to focus in on the solar plexus, the front and the back. Yes, there are two solar plexus. And over this solar plexus, we're going to send green light. And this green light is going to sweep over the front and the back solar plexus, gently sweeping and cleansing. Now it's going to go and shift from green to an electric violet, kind of the color of lightning. And we're going to sweep through and release food cravings, emotional eating, despair, eating out of boredom, or eating from stress with this energy. This energy starts to move through the solar plexus, restoring it, balancing it, shrinking it back down to its original size, creating a nice open circle of energy, rebalancing and energizing it down. We're going to envision that this pure white, purple, lightning colored energy gently moves in, energizing, restoring, and balancing both the front and the back solar plexus. We're going to sweep through the liver, the stomach, the small, the large intestines, and the pancreas, gently cleansing, re-energizing, and balancing these areas. We're gently going to send white light over the solar plexus, front and back, to seal, to restore, and rebalance and regenerate this area, preventing any future energetic leakage and drawing in any energy that we need in the future to rebalance and to heal. We'll go into the stomach and notice in that stomach chakra if there's any worry remaining, any guilt, any shame, stress, anger, whatever emotions are in your stomach. We're going to just sweep through your stomach like with a little broom, and dust them away. And as we dust them away, they're going to go into a violet flame that dissipates them and sends them up all the way up to the universe, God, Creator, to dissipate and release. Going to gently, gently energize with pure white light that area. Just softly rebalancing. We're going to instill the emotions of peace, of love, kindness, understanding, forgiveness, and balance into your stomach. We're going to go over to the throat chakra. We're going to send gentle blue and green surrounding the throat chakra, clearing out any angry or retained words, any emotions that are held in the throat. We're going to gently cleanse and clear. We're going to move just up over to your Anja, third eye chakra, and just gently clear away any worry, any overthinking or stress out of that perspective. Gently sweeping, gently cleansing, gently rebalancing. We're going to go over back down to your heart chakra. On the front heart chakra, we're gently just going to cleanse. And we're going to see that picture of light again. Beautiful pink and white light pouring over your heart, releasing any blockages, any walls, any protections you've put around your heart, allowing your heart chakra to open, to be willing to share, to give and receive love, to share who we are, to allow our true self to come forward. Through the back heart chakra, I'm going to just gently energize with beautiful white light, keeping in mind if you have high blood pressure, ask your body to not receive this light, but just to sit quietly. So only if you have a balanced heart, receive this energy. Very gentle in the back heart chakra. We're going to go down, down through, gently energizing. We're going to go into the hypothalamus, gently energizing with gold energy, rebalancing the hypothalamus area. We're going to go over the navel and the basic chakra and gently send pure white light over those areas as well. We're going to go down, down, down to our sacral and sex chakras, gently sweeping through with a beautiful pink energy. If there is any trauma in this area, any belief system that we are weak in this area, we're going to sweep through. And then we're going to just gently energize again with love, understanding, self-acceptance, peace, and forgiveness will instill in these areas. I want you to focus back into your heart and notice now that your heart is freed from its walls and boundaries, that with every beat of your heart, a beautiful white light starts to flow through your body, pushing out, restoring your auric fields, flowing out through your arms and your fingers and your toes, through your torso, up through the top of your head. This beautiful white light begins to encircle your body, filling any cracks, any crevices, any holes, restoring and rebalancing your energetic field. You may say this with me out loud. I permanently clear all negative attachments and emotions that are causing my weight gain, backwards through time, forward into the future, sideways, up and down, on all layers and dimensions. I permanently clear. Take a deep breath in. Tell your body, thank you. Thank you for the healing you have received today. Thank you for the healing you will receive in the future. Thank you for the healing that will occur in the past. We are grateful for our body, for its miraculous ability to heal both body, mind, and spirit. We are so grateful. We send thanks and gratitude to the angels, the holy masters, to our higher power, to God, creator of the universe, for the protection and healing that was facilitated today. Take one more deep breath in and say thank you. You can come back into the room, move your neck, wiggle your body, your arms, your toes, open your eyes, and come back into the room. How is everybody feeling with that? I hope good. Hope that you felt some things. When I get the call recording up, please feel free to listen to this meditation as much as you want. I would kind of limit it to maybe 3 times a week. You don't want to overwhelm yourself listening it to 3 times a day. And understand that, again, as I said in the beginning, your body is doing what it's designed to do by creating a protection of weight. Feel gratitude to your body that it is functioning in the way it was designed to, that your subconscious is doing its job, but letting your body and your subconscious know that it is now time to become someone else that is not holding on to the weight and the protection. Thank you, everyone, for coming, and I will look forward to seeing you guys again. Have a beautiful day. Bye, everybody.